Trump just told NATO, stop buying Russian oil or I'm not sanctioning Russia. Yeah, you heard it right. The President of the United States is basically holding sanctions hostage unless NATO countries cut ties with Moscow first. Oh, and while we're at it, he wants NATO to slap 50 to 100% tariffs on China because apparently this is a good project. And Trump's a kid who refuses to do the homework unless everyone else is working harder than him. This is not just another rant on Truth Social. This is a big deal. Because if NATO doesn't comply, Trump says, quote, you are just wasting my time. That's the President of the United States talking about the deadliest war in Europe since World War II, like it's a business negotiation over a golf course deep. And this ultimatum, it could change the entire balance of the war in Ukraine. So here's the story. On September 13th, Trump posted a message to NATO countries saying he's ready to sanction Russia, but only if every NATO member completely stops buying oil from Moscow. Now, NATO has 32 member countries, and not all of them are on the same page. Turkey is the third largest buyer of Russian oil, right behind China and India. Hungary and Slovakia are also still importing, and Trump's calling this shocking. But here's the catch. Trump isn't just targeting Russia. He wants NATO to collectively hit China with tariffs up to 100%, because China has been the lifeline for Russia's economy. The logic is starve Russia's wallet by cutting off China. In Trump's words, if NATO does as I say, the war will end quickly. If not, well, according to him, everyone's wasting his time. And here's the scary part. He might not be entirely wrong. Energy sales are one of the biggest reasons Russia survived 3 years of sanctions and still keeps funding its war machine. Let's break down why this is such a massive dilemma for NATO. First, oil and gas are the lifeline of Europe's economy. Cutting Russian oil completely means countries like Hungary and Slovakia would have to overhaul their entire energy systems overnight. Second, NATO is not designed to make economic policy. It's a military alliance. So Trump is basically telling them, hey, your job isn't just tanks and troops anymore. Now it's also energy boycotts and trade wars. Third, this puts allies like Germany and France in a tough spot. They've already slashed Russian imports, but asking everyone to go cold turkey, that's not just politics, that's domestic chaos. And remember, NATO is always thrived on consensus. Trump knows that, but demanding all countries act together is setting the bar at an almost impossible height, which means he can turn around later and say, see, NATO failed again. Now let's talk about the other half of Trump's ultimatum, China. Trump wants NATO to slap tariffs of 50 to 100% on Chinese goods. Think about that. NATO is not a trade bloc. It's not the EU. It's not the WTO. It's a military alliance. But Trump wants to use it as an economic battering ram against Beijing. And why? Because China has become Russia's biggest economic partner. They buy Russian oil. They sell Russia electronics, semiconductors, even values goods that can help the war effort. Cutting that pipeline would hurt Russia badly. But here's the thing. China is also the largest trading partner for most NATO countries. Germany, heavily dependent on exports to China. France, same.